Hello, my glamorous people, and welcome back to another episode of the Not As Glamorous podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help with the channel. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and follow the show. Leave a rating when you get a chance. Also, just a reminder, this podcast does have visuals on YouTube, so if you love seeing the conversation, just go ahead and check it out there. Alrighty, now on to today's topic. This season of God is asking for all of me. God has lately been asking me to put Him first and be all in on Him. I truly realize that you can love God deeply and still not put Him first. I'm not new to Christ. I've been in Christ all of my life, but He's telling me I need to actually put Him first. You can't know all of God with a partial surrender. I cannot know all of the great things and how expansive and grand He is, and He cannot reveal all of Himself to me at once if I'm only partially surrendering to Him and getting partial love to Him. So what I have learned is that you don't just know God, you get to encounter God through obedience and through intimacy with Him. I have learned that to know God, you have to be in His Word. We come to know God fully through the Bible and not just experiences in the personal relationships that we build with Him. If I only show God part of my heart, I only experience a part of who He is. If I want to know God as a healer, I have to kind of be sick to know Him as that. My church is doing a consecration revival, and they're talking about its devotion and how you must keep this sacred and truly consecrate your relationship with God. And this is the act of making this a very sacred relationship with Him. To me, this season is not just going to be about rules where, okay, I won't call my family or my friends first. I have to talk to God first. This is God saying He wants a relationship with me that's going to be set apart. So it's making me reflect that what area in your life that needs to be sacred again? What area have I just kind of rushed and put on the back burner when I really need to put God forward? So within Consecration Revival, I've realized it's really not about restriction. It's about devotion. And I want to truly devote my all to God. I want to make sure that I am showing Him that this relationship with God, I truly do value. It is sacred to me. So I'm not going to be focused on the rules in this season or think about the things that I'm not able to have or what I'm giving up. I'm looking at it as these are the sacrifices, these are things that I'm doing so that I can go closer and closer to God. So as I stated before, I've always loved God, but in this season, He showed me that He wasn't always put first in my life. I noticed like when I was happy, I would call my mom. If I'm sad, I would call my mom. If I'm celebrating, I would call my friends. Or if I'm in a mood to do something, I would call another person. It's just like I'm doing all these other things and I'm thinking of good, bad, or sad. I'm calling other people, but I'm not calling God first. And when I'm in this crisis or when I'm in a good state or in a happy mood, I'm realizing I'm calling other people and not God first. So it makes me think, who is really first in my life? God is not really first because idols aren't always obvious. I've always thought because, I don't do crystals or I don't practice tarot cards, I don't put any other God before Him. And anything that I turn to before God has the power to become an idol. And that's what I want to shed light on. So focus on who you're running to when crisis and celebration arises, because spiritual division can create a little space for the enemy. You know how you give a person an inch, they'll take a mile, and you don't want to do that. God is asking for your undivided attention. Give God all of you, so therefore the enemy has no room to take that little space and run with it. You cannot be halfway surrendered. The enemy does his best work when there is a divided place. So if there's any room, the enemy is going to try to come in and play with your mind in deception, so showing you that he has something to work with. But the devil flees when there's nothing to work with. So if you go ahead and decide to be all in, the devil has no room to take up any space. In this season of life, I cannot afford to be divided, not even a little bit. I have big dreams and big goals, and I will not take any chances of the devil trying to come in to disrupt that. This season is about intentional intimacy, and I am fully focused on that. I'm being devoted to my devotion time. I'm being devoted to choosing God first in my actions because I want to be sure to give God all of my attention, all of my time, my thoughts, and my decisions. When I'm spending time with God and reading the Word to know Him, I am not doing this just so that I can say I know these scriptures. I'm doing this so that I can know all of God and who He is. You may know God as a healer, but there is more to discover in a different way. God is a provider. God is a way maker. He's a protector. He's a restorer. He's all of these things, but you have to be in His Word and be in different positions so that you can see Him. Because the God I see is the God I get, and I want to see God a little bit more clearly. So I also want to invite you, all who are listening and who are tuned in to this question. Where has God been second instead of first in your life? What would it look like for you to consecrate your relationship with God? I truly, truly want to encourage you and let you know that this is not about perfection. This is about your heart's posture. This is about your devotion to God. So take time to reflect and know that God needs to be first in your life. You put Him first, and I promise you, He will put you first in everything that your heart desires as well. God reveals Himself to those who seek Him fully. So in this season, I'm not just loving God, I'm choosing Him first every day and all the time. So if this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to leave a review, drop a comment, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Let me know what stood out to you or what God is revealing to you about your mindset in this season. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and share this with someone who may need this reminder. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Love you, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out.